Welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise from the Egyptian Opera House with Rana Al-Assas and myself, Muhammad Abdurrahim. We now have with us Dr. Fatma Khafagy, women's rights activist and board member of the Arab Alliance for Women. As you know, dear viewers, Egyptian Premier Mustafa Madbouli issued a decree last month establishing the Supreme Permanent Committee for Human Rights headed by the Foreign Minister or his delegate. The committee members include the Ministries of Defense, Social Solidarity, Justice, Parliamentary Affairs, Interior, alongside with the General Intelligence Administrative Control Authority, the National Council for Women, the National Council for Childhood and Motherhood, the National Council for Disability Affairs, and the Public Prosecution. And Dr. Fatma is with us here to shed light on this. Thank you, Dr. Fatma, for joining us.
A very good day, Ms. Fatma. How are you? Gender equality has gone a long way with many legal procedures being taken to protect women, of course. What do you see as the main gains of women?
Okay, in 2018, actually, I tend to believe that there are two major achievements for women. I can see a focus on the economic empowerment of women. So we see a lot of things going on, like financial inclusion for women, like the small and micro enterprises and grants and loans given to women. And this is, I think, the first time that we're very much focusing on the economic empowerment as the road to empower women in many other spheres. So there are many facilities now, there are many services available in order to create women entrepreneurs, women to improve skills of women who have not done any economic activities before, in order to be able actually to take also small loans and start a business, and those who have small business to grow their businesses and so on. And there are many banks actually that they have credit lines just for women to protect them and to financially, and also there are means to increase women's dealing with money, actually not in cash, but going to the bank, opening a bank account. And I see this is actually a very good start for women to be empowered economically in Egypt. The other thing I see is that violence against women has not become a taboo. I mean, it stopped to be a taboo like it used to be before. And I can see that women, or many women now, and especially young women, have a voice. They don't like to be actually harassed. They don't like to tolerate violence anymore. And they are sort of not keeping quiet about it. I mean, they're really seeking to gain back their rights through different channels in Egypt.
Right. Dr. Fatma, inequality remains a cultural issue, though not a legal one, of course. But how is this making things more difficult for you as a women's activist? And how is society getting over that, you know, the wrong perception that men and women are not equal? How are we progressing? Are we? And how far have we moved?
Yes, I think we are progressing, because also, I mean, changing the legal instruments go hand by hand with changing the culture. It might take a bit of a long time, actually, when you have a law, to see it implemented rightly. It takes a bit of time, but eventually it also changes culture. There are many NGOs in Egypt and feminist groups who have been working on the ground, actually, meeting with women, explaining, you know, how, you know, there are certain ideas that are not based on anything, not on religion, not on culture, like female genital mutilation. It's been there in Egypt for thousands of years, but it's changing now. I mean, we've seen a drop, especially for the younger women, actually. And this has been, I mean, culturally very much embedded in Egypt. Now it has changed, partly because there is a law, but not only because of the law, but because there have been also many attempts from the government side, from the NGO side, that this is a practice that is harmful. It's against human rights of women, and it should be stopped. So there are many things that actually have been happening in Egypt in an attempt to change the culture perception and to increase women's ability to believe in themselves, to believe that they are equal. Because, I mean, for so many years, they were made to believe that they're inferior, that they're not equal to men. But now things have, I mean, they are changing. But, I mean, we know that culture does not change very quickly. It takes a bit of time to change.
What are the reasons behind some aspects of violence against women?
I mean, there are many forms of violence against women, but I mean, Egypt, like even if we look at the statistics, so in terms of domestic violence, Egypt is like, I mean, all the other worldwide. It's, I mean, 1/3 of women suffer from domestic violence. Egypt is also suffering from domestic violence for, I mean, different reasons, but maybe we have a higher rate of sexual harassment in public places that we really should address seriously. I mean, we have sexual harassment in the streets, we have sexual harassment in public
it's
transport.
mostly verbal, right?
Pardon?
Mostly verbal.
Yeah, it's verbal, but it also can be physical. I mean, people touching a woman in the street, also in the public. We are, I think, working hard on this. And there, I mean, the idea of also looking at women as inferior makes, you know, some men that they have the right to judge how women should be dressed, how women should talk, and so on. And they think that it's their right to discipline women. This has been changed, as I said, like violence now is before,
Dropping.
because we were not talking about it. Now we are talking about
Finally,
it.
Dr. Fatma, sorry for interrupting you, but this is the last question because we're running out of time. As a women's rights activist, what are your wishes, your main wishes for 2019?
My wish is that I see a number of laws in favor of the rights of women in the pipeline. They are ready. They are draft laws, actually, like the personal status law, or what we call the family law. There is law on combating all forms of violence against women. There is a law on establishing a national commission against discrimination and for equal opportunities. These are laws in the pipeline in front of the parliament. I wish in 2019 to see that these laws are actually enacted.
We hope all the laws will be actually into action. And we thank you so much for joining us in today's episode of Nile Cruise in this very special edition as we celebrate the Merry Christmas and a New Year. Thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Fatma Khafagy.
Thank you very much, Dr. Fatma Khafagy, women's rights activist and board member of the Arab Alliance for Women. Thank you very much. Dear viewers, we'll be now listening, Rana, to a song by Muhammad Salah. Yes, that's the not the name of the famous footballer, of course, but the world superstar footballer, but a singer here who is his namesake, and he's singing a song, Rana, called "Ihna al-Masrawiyya."
Yes, and Muhammad Salah is from he's an Upper Egyptian singer. He was honored in many concerts and events in Alexandria, and Minya, and Luqsor, and we have the pleasure to have him with us today.
Yes, after listening to this song, Ihna al-Masrawiyya, or We Are the Egyptians, we will see Muhammad himself.
Egypt in a lot. So let's watch this song.